I got to ask a little bit more about the consistency from Taulek and what you've seen across his career in Halo Infinite in particular, and why maybe he's starting to shine and gain a little bit more traction with fans and viewers, and to be perfectly honest, on graphics. I
think he's been playing well for the entirety of Halo Infinite. I take myself back to like year 1 or 2 in Infinite, and I kept talking about him as being one of the most underrated players that we did have. And it's for a reason, right? It's because he consistently is putting up these numbers, but I will say his playstyle is dependent a lot upon what the other 3 players on TSM are doing on the map. If they are surviving, if they are baiting, if they are giving the opportunity to clean up damage, he's going to do exactly that. And when he starts going on a little bit of a run, 3 or 4 kills, getting towards a killing spree, then those individual battles start to turn his way as well, because that confidence grows within him. So a lot of the numbers, a lot of the success that he has also relies on TSM playing their lives extremely well. If they stay alive long enough for Taulek to get involved in those fights, he's going to have success, and TSM have success as well. Well,
we'll have to find out who does have the last say with the success on the main stage, because we're ready to go, folks. Everything is set in stone. The players are happy. We're certainly happy, because this is going to be a banger of a series. It's Spacestation Gaming versus TSM on Set and Bravos. Over to you.
Let's do this. A lot of people still here in Salt Lake City, ready to see TSM versus SSG on our main stage. And of course, the SSG fans are still here to cheer their boys on, but there's a lot on the line, not just tournament-wise, but emotionally for a lot of these players that are on our stage right now, Andy.
There really are. Let's take a look at the series layout here. As we said, no strongholds present. What? We thought there was no strongholds present. That's what the graphics said. Not correct. Strongholds live fire game number 1. Excited to see how that one kicks off. And that is going to be a fast-paced game out of the break, off the rip. And a great way to start the series, without a doubt. I think the one thing to highlight, and everyone here in the room, everyone at home watching is thinking, and you and I were thinking as we approached the main stage this evening, is it is crazy that only one of these 2 teams is going to Championship Sunday.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, TSM, their focus coming into this event had to be go better than before, make it to a grand finals. But you got to make it to Sunday first. For SSG, I think probably making it to Sunday was going to be first after the disappointment of Dallas. But of course, new look lineup for SSG looked very good against Optic, even though they came up just short. We'll have to see if they can conclude this series with a W, and this Saturday with a W in this series. We've got SSG, we've got TSM. It's our final series of the day.
Here we go, underway in game number 1. Suppress wasting absolutely no time. He's going ahead and grab that sniper rifle. We'll see what he can do. He's been on fire all weekend, looking to show no signs of slowing that down here in the final series of the evening. And hopefully for them, if you're an SSG fan, now it's their final series of the tournament.
Really good pressure actually early on here from TSM, and Druk with that QT goes to the back of green, uses it to stay alive, jumps back out to finish off StelluR as well. I think the camo was down there as well. I'm not sure if Druk had information that camo was going to be down. If not, then he certainly will find out very soon. But early scoring here is all TSM, and it's going to be an AB hold for them.
Val immediately hits the no-scope swap to get the kill so quickly. It was 3 dead for TSM, so even though TSM does have 25 on the board, should be an opportunity, as it's a staggered 4 dead for SSG to get on the board here with a B rotation and a CB hold.
Big Dog going to be watched here by Fal as well. He's still got that snipe, still got 2 bullets, and that can make all the difference, not just in where the scoring goes, as we see B being transferred, but if this turns from a double cap into a triple cap, he's going to chase his kill down, should be able to finish that one off pretty comfortably, and with TSM still 2 dead, you get the feeling that SSG might be having a little think about pushing for A as well.
Yeah, really nicely done. Even though they fall immediately by a 30-point deficit, SSG does not panic. They take it 1 step at a time, and Fal hitting all the shots that he needs to. Finally, he'll run out of ammo. Deal a little bit of extra damage, but he will be taken down.
Well, here's the man on the other side that needs to match the numbers of Falcated on SSG, and that is Taulek of TSM. StelluR with a double kill, though, at the back of green. He's not only going to defend B, but now with 3 dead for TSM, SSG have got to be thinking time to move to A. Fal's already there. We might be seeing our first triple cap of the day.
TSM getting heavily outslayed. Every single member on the side of SSG has more kills than anyone on TSM, and you can just tell with a quick glance at the scoreboard in the kills category of just how heavily they're being outslayed. It is a triple cap for SSG.
Not just that, a huge, big last-second reset onto C as well. TSM off 1 here, by the way. They're jumping in every single stronghold, so they're completely split across the map, but it's working for them. SSG caught mid-map, A and B get flipped, and TSM will be scoring.
What a flip. Falcated was the last player alive on dummies. He tries to poke and peek, gets punished and shoved back right away, but that's a big kill to not trade, and that's going to keep things open for SSG, even though they're down a few players. It's a momentary 2v1 against Druk.
And Falcated misses his initial beatdown, but still somehow comes out of that, not just with a trade, but with his life as well. Off the back of it, StelluR's going to grab the camo.
Huge.
TSM flipping C in the meantime, but it looks like the play coming in from Spacestation, and the play call is going to be the play for B. They should be able to flip this one.
What a play there for him to stay alive and just pave the way for StelluR to grab. Camo eventually is neutralized, and then 1v1 on the map, Falcated versus Taulek, to see exactly who will get the initial rotation. Eco spawns though, so that means Taulek cannot fight in that 1v2.
He's going to move towards A here to try and flip it. Did see the spawn over at B, so TSM playing for the ends of the map at the moment. 2 players from Spacestation go flood towards C to try and flip that back into their control, but speaking of control, it's going to be the sniper rifle now in the hands of the man on your screen. He's got 8 bullets to work with. This thing is full.
You can tell the focus there. Taulek doing a little bit of screen watching. You can see that bottom left, trying to get a little bit of angles and a little bit of extra info. Will tag up and body on foul, but for now, not see too much. SSG starting to pull away during this sequence. The CB hold now brings them to the 100-point mark.
SSG know they don't really have to move at this point as well. Until someone steps in the stronghold, they can wait to see where TSM show themselves. A still in TSM's control, but BC hold is continuing here for them. Taulek can't get any clear shots.
This is an interest to watch this from Taulek's POV is interesting because he has not made things happen. He has not found the opener, and it feels like it's all quiet elsewhere. You don't even hear that much gunfire. Finally, C will start to flip, but not before SSG hits the 119-point mark.
StelluR go down as well, so that's a little bit of staggered 2-3 dead situation now for SSG. If he can hit this shot, then all of a sudden, things might start to open up on the map here for TSM. He will fall, but A and C now momentarily in the control of TSM. Falcated should be able to work with the teammate, though, to turn C back into the favor of Spacestation.
Even though it was a clean break, it took a little long, right? SSG was able to answer back quite quickly, and just like that, they're able to flip C. However, TSM still scoring on the AB hold.
Okay, just missing a couple of shots here. We mentioned how they've had a little bit of time away from the main stage, and maybe you're seeing it through the POVs of Foul with those missed shots. A couple of those connect, and the overall map layout and composition for both teams looks very, very different. SSG looking, though, to flip B. And even though TSM do get the reset onto A, they are getting pressured.
Yeah, good pressure there from SSG. They even start to push against A here, and they get 1 extra kill. Maybe even some more with the shots from Eco.
Beautiful shots, turns that one on its head. And now we'll flip A as well. Taulek's going to be over at B. He'll turn that back for TSM, but that double kill at least keeps Spacestation with one of the strongholds in their control. TSM still have 2, though.
And you got to think without that double kill, right, where is TSM? If they still have the BC hold, Eco getting that double kill is absolutely massive in terms of just keeping things within reason and avoiding that triple cap. So TSM still applying the pressure, though they still trail here by a significant margin.
So SSG focusing on a couple of kills here before they move towards one of these strongholds. Manny is back tower. Falcated is trying to push him. Suppressed with that grenade will take him down. And with this camo, he can start to hunt down a few extra TSM members. Druk slides into the back of green here to try and play a little bit of defense on the stronghold they control. AB still in the control of TSM here, and I will say, TSM slowly and surely chipping away, but Suppressed is starting to pick up a little bit of his pace here, and the kills are starting to fall his way.
Another example of what would have been a big TSM advantage, a double kill stops that. So big single individual efforts coming in from players like Suppressed and Eco to now be scoring once again at BC.
3 dead here for TSM, slightly worrying signs. Last player's in front of Suppressed, he'll take him down, and will be rewarded with a killing spree of his own. It's a triple cap now for Spacestation Gaming.
Big from SSG there and big from Suppressed. You might have noticed just moments ago he was only on 9 kills, so that killing spree, of course, and even before that, only on 7 before the 5 straight. So it's a big kind of swing for Suppressed. He was a little bit quieter early in the game, but now he's about to take the lead on the team.
3 dead for SSG though, and this should be an opportunity for TSM to flip the scoring at least on one of these strongholds. But StelluR back off the spawn with a QT in his hands. Not just getting information, challenging, but somehow avoiding everybody on TSM with that QT. One player goes for a little uneducated swim, forgets the armbands, and it will be 2 dead for TSM.
Wow, what a swing there. It's still the AB hold, and another kill coming in. 4 dead for TSM, and StelluR using that QT to get behind them. And as you said, it was just scare tactics to shove them off the map. And just like that, the game starts to get a little bit out of hand. SSG will continue scoring at the 190 mark.
TSM don't let the triple cap last too long, though. They jump into A almost immediately, doubling up, making sure it's converted as quickly as possible. And Druk has the sniper rifle. He has a chance now to pick up some kills and pick up kills. TSM are doing somehow or other. Druk swings left, swings right, and almost embarrasses the SSG player in front of him.
The swingiest sprint strafe you ever did see at C-Plat. In the end, StelluR manages to stay alive, and not just stay alive, but also going 18-10. We talked about this guy for a while in the pregame, and for good reason.
TSM scoring momentarily, but SSG are inside of A. It looks like the scoring will be stopped, and the reset will come in, so TSM will continue here to score. 2 players, no shields. One of them had camo. That's going to be a kill for Manny. Another kill potentially arriving on the cuts here as Druk jumps into C here to try and flip it.
C will flip, A will flip as well though on the other side. So TSM going to try to rally back here. It would need to be a very, very, not just coordinated, but patient effort for them to get back into this. There's of course plenty of time on the game clock to do so, but B and C start to flip immediately.
It'll be interesting to see how TSM haven't really been able to, off the back of a double cap, get a 3-4 dead situation and force a triple cap themselves. That's the difference in the score between the two teams. The moments of control and scoring been pretty equal, but just the fact that SSG have had the triple cap in effect a few times is why we're seeing this difference.
It's true, that 70-point deficit really just a difference of a few extra triple caps, because you know those points stack, and do they ever stack quick when that triple is in effect? However, TSM still scoring and very good damage coming in from Druk as well. They do get the kill on StelluR and maybe an opportunity in this 3v3 to continue scoring.
Looks like a big push towards B here from Spacestation. Another player at the back of Green has to be dealt with. Eco gets spotted out. Eco gets taken down. And with a player trapped on the nest here, it's a 2v2 situation, but 2v2 is fine if you're scoring, and TSM are indeed still scoring.
And they also keep a staggered 3 dead. StelluR's essentially last player alive around that part of the map, but right now he's in a dangerous place, and he takes down Manny as well for the double, which is an enormous play from a single player down at B, and he's gonna get the flip here easily.
3 dead here for TSM, Druk the only one alive. Spacestation not just looking for 2, they're feeling hungry, they're feeling greedy, they go for all 3. The triple cap back in effect, it might only move momentary, but this man's starting to warm up here. StelluR with another perfect.
How about the confidence, just flies out, doesn't even really worry about the strafe, just kind of flies forward down to Taulek and picks up that kill as well. As you said, making it look easy. Nearing victory here, less than 25 points to go for SSG.
TSM got 1 or 2 more pushes, maybe even just 1 push. Falcated gets absolutely nuked by the grenade flying towards him, and it looks like TSM are trying to make a big push across top middle for A here. The way that this fight goes might be the end of the game, or it might be TSM finding a way back into it. It's 4 dead! 4 dead for SSG! They will get A, they're working on B, and this might be the first triple cap now for TSM.
Wow, it looked like that was going to be it with the angles they had on A, but it's a rat tunnel flank late that pays off, and another big door player comes through. So now the triple cap at 184, but no room for error.
SoulSnipe gets a little bit funky with his movement, knows he has the QT, but look how quickly the SSG have just flipped the map. They've got A, they've got C, they'll be scoring once again, and even though SoulSnipe's got the chance to hit big shots, it's TSM whose chances might be dwindling in front of them.
That would have been something. All eyes on B here. A will flip. Eco needs to stay alive at back B. We'll see if the nades come in. If they take him down, he might even get the stop. He does. He flips it. They will start scoring it again, and they're also capping A.
TSM only with 2 players alive. This is going to be the game. They're going to cap A here. The triple cap is pretty much the reason that SSG will come out of game 1 with that win. That's the difference maker, and that's what makes SSG so good.
Exactly. Also, let's not forget, TSM was leading about 30-0 there off the opening, and the best teams in the world, they do not panic at all off of your opening breaks in strongholds. They know that you can go down not only by 30 or 40 or 50 and bring that game back comfortably. You just need to find your footing. If you don't win the opening rush, you might forfeit early points, but you certainly, and SSG reminded us of this, do not forfeit the game. It's a really nice full game effort from SSG.
I'd love to look back on the stats of that game of like time scoring for both teams, because I feel like it was pretty even. It was just the difference of the triple caps, the time of the triple cap being in effect for SSG that just gave them that little bit of accelerated scoring during those periods of control that contributed towards those final moments. Got to talk about StelluR though. In the final moments of that game really did show what he's made of, and 23 and 15 tells the story itself.
It really does. Big numbers from him, and as we said, a lot of talk about him not only in the pregame but all weekend long, and what he's been doing over the past really 2 full years of Halo Infinite, as he seems to have unlocked a different tier that was present yet again.
Every single player on SSG going positive. Eco with the most assists on the team as well. Not really too much to shout about on the TSM side though when it comes to slays. Every single player going negative, so that's a little bit of a concern to see yourself getting outslayed so heavily in a game number 1, especially when you've got a Slayer coming up next.
Certainly, and Falcated, by the way, got to mention 10 assists to his name as well. So impressive effort all around from the side of SSG. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that game number 1.
Some of them were coming from the POV of this man. Reach out, the killing spree off the rip. I think he was 6-1 right at the start of that game, StelluR, which we mentioned how important it is game number 1 for both these teams, but also how important the first few moments were going to be. We were talking about how TSM, coming off the back of that series they just played, were probably going to be hot. Well, if you come out against them and you start that way, then it's certainly going to make you feel like you're just as hot as they are.
Several plays that we just saw. That one from Eco, you're about to see it from Suppressed as well. Picks up 1, picks up 2. Take a look at the numbers in that scenario to turn everything around. Those were both examples where we could have seen TSM not just get a double, but maybe turn it into a trip cap. But instead, when you have single players getting back-to-back double kills, that shuts down that opportunity entirely.
Opportunity at the end of this game as well for TSM. They did get that forward ed, and you thought just for a second maybe the timing was going to be on their side, but Spacestation offered the respawn, did a great job of flipping the ends of the map, controlling the scoring, and by doing so, we'll put 250 points on the board to TSM's 185. Next up, we move over to Solitude for some StelluR, and this is where TSM have to make it count.
Have to make it count, and they're going to be dangerous on a game type like this. Anyone who's played this map through Halo 5 or Halo Infinite, or simply watched enough in the recent era of Halo Infinite, knows that this map can get scrappy, it can get dicey, and it can, the faster you play this game type and the more you can keep your opponent just guessing as to what angles you're gonna fly in from, the better. And TSM is a team that might be able to bring that speed, but they're gonna have to find a certain mix of talent and timing to take down what we just saw from SSG.
I remember those statistics coming into this series. SSG 7th when it comes to their ranking in Slayers. Not great when you compare how many teams are ahead of them and how many teams are still left in the tournament as well. TSM, however, it was 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, in those Slayers, which is a pretty damn good record. So they're gonna have to lean upon that and hopefully for them, tie this series up. Spacestation, though, if they take this one with the record they have, you get the feeling that is gonna be massive for them to moving forward to close out this series.
That also tells you how many teams are trading Slayers if the 3rd ranked team is 12-9.
Yes.
Like this, Slayers are so, I mean, they've been called a coin flip for a reason, and they're now underway in game number 2. SSG leading 1-0. If you're just joining us as a reminder, this is your elimination quarterfinal. Only one of these two teams will advance to Championship Sunday. This series will decide that.
Oh, if you wanted to see how close it was at the start, you've got two players, no shields, trading with each other. Down on the dip, and it's going to be 3-3. That's another great indication of how close and well matched these two teams' opening strategies were. Druk now moving towards the snipe side. He's probably thinking, just have a shock rifle in these kind of positions.
Yeah, doesn't go for it right away. Wants a first challenge up on the angle. However, the pressure's coming in. They need to figure this out because they have blue angles as well as hotel, but right now they certainly have the height disadvantage. And when it comes to snipe side, StelluR wins that 1v1.
Not surprised to see Druk take that fight. He did have the thrust. It was just the help from Suppressed from distance that really did influence the way that that fight did go. A nice double kill, though, from SoulSnipe is going to give TSM just the single-digit lead, but 1 kill at the end of the game is just as good as 10.
Nice work there. Eco finally cleaned up. You expect that assist to come in a little bit sooner, but in the end, they do get the work done. However, they do find themselves 2 dead, so Druk needs to be careful, try to stay alive here. It's a nice angle he takes, but SSG is wise to it. They take the lead by 1.
Tied up at 8-8 though, as SoulSnipe will exchange with that trade. Manny just walking towards the spawners of
too easy,
SSG,
right?
And just catch him a little bit off guard there. I think he just had really good timing to avoid everybody who was in front of him. SoulSnipe taken down though, but Taulek with a double kill. That's 2 dead for SSG, and I'm pretty sure there was a shot for him to pick up. Yes, indeed.
Up by 2 here, and an opportunity to get a little bit of a lead, maybe blow this game wide open at this stage would be a pretty big deal. Of course, we know this game type can be very snowbally, and no lead is really secure. 11-10 certainly not secure, a lot more to play, but we'll see if Taulek can hit the shots. He hits the first one unsuppressed.
Yeah, those ones are the ones that you have to hit, right? When your teammates are starting to fall the other side of the map, you have a clear line of sight. These kind of big games, these big-time matchups late on a Saturday, you cannot miss those simple shots. As the thrust will be good for StelluR. SoulSnipe comes in to make sure he trades, but he's momentarily last alive here. SSG starting to roll back into this one. It's still just the 1 kill between the two. And off the back of the kills, it'll be Fal who gets that next camo.
Yeah, it was a momentary 2v2, but Fal, a lot of opportunity with this camo. They don't want to keep this game within 1. SSG certainly wants to be able to get a lead here, and wins like that will allow them to get a second of control, but 2 kills traded out for both sides.
TSM still with the 1 kill advantage. It really has been wafer thin, this lead. But a big win here from Druk. He's going to make that a little bit more comfortable for them. Not much more, though. Just 2 this time around.
Interestingly, a lot of times we've seen TSM playing from hotel right throughout this game, and they now lead by 3, and it's rare that you see a team taking these kind of angles, and we'll see if he's going to stay alive. Eco's going to punish him, though, and finally flush out the hotel.
Yeah, I like that from Eco. Just got aggressive on it. He had that first shot, and even though the peak shot ability of Druk is very, very good, Eco recognized that was an opportunity for a free kill. He managed to pick it up, does good damage onto the second as well. Suppress will clean that up, and all of a sudden the teamwork of SSG is just starting to click here.
It is. They were just down by 3, and now they only trail by 1. Let's get to a listen-in now with Spacestation Gaming.
Sure, we're playing together.
Glasses happens, got go market.
Yeah, watch out, market.
Nice.
Nice. Loop in glass, loop in top gold. Nice. Nice. Good work. This guy's might be on.
Back tram. I'm pushing driver. Yeah, he's back tram right now.
Spawn him S1. Back
Taulek.
up B, back up B.
Okay.
Shut me.
I went back, Donnie. I went back, Donnie.
Yo, hotel.
Good. Very well.
Yeah, they lift.
Yeah, he's top left, weak truck. Have shields. I'm looking hotel.
Shoot the lift.
This is good. Yeah,
You guys, I got hotel.
I'm one shot there, guys.
On me, weak. Manny, one shot.
Shot.
No, still last one.
Keep him there. Black blue.
Camo 15.
This one.
Blue ramp, guys. Blue ramp, one guy. Blue ramp going down.
Camo 10.
Living Donnie, we have you, Donnie.
Lift for camo.
Truck weak, blue truck weak,
Yo,
2 shot.
I'm one shot, guys. I'm one shot.
Looking bottom mid.
Marking hide it.
Here's the iron
Go back
market.
to
Yo,
guys,
you
go
turn
back
on
to guys,
Donnie.
go
You
back
turn
to
on
guys.
Donnie.
Go back to guys.
Have shoes marking in the corner.
On camo.
One shot market, guys. One shot bottom mid. And silo.
Shot on camo. Drop U-turn or something.
Loop killed me.
Alright, they have full camo here. Let's try
Spawn
to
here, Donnie.
try to waste this.
One's on thrust. One's on thrust.
He's gonna tell me what came out, I think.
It's on mid camo guys still.
Close up yard.
We'll jump out that comes back into the game as TSM were under pressure during that listening. Sounded pretty composed from the side of SSG, but we have a tie game still, and Taulek will just eke out that consistent 1-kill lead once again here for TSM. It has been so close for the entirety of this game.
Yeah, amazing job there. You felt like during that listen-in, not only did SSG come back from a 3-kill deficit, but then they went to a 3-kill lead, so a 6-kill swing essentially. However, it was not enough. TSM really answers back during the entirety of that listen-in to not only maintain control of the map, but also now the scoreboard.
Found did a great job of staying alive initially, and then when the help came alongside him, they just double push into blue here, and they're going to be able to clean up a couple of kills. However, Taulek will get one of his own. That'll be Falcated coming back to deal with SoulSnipe. 3 dead here for SSG, and the biggest lead we've seen of the game so far. It is a full team kill required for Spacestation Gaming to tie this game up. Suppress will get the first, though. That gives them the opening.
And what we've really seen here, we saw during the listening, how long was Taulek alive in market, right? Forcing that 1v2 as 3 will fall for TSM yet again. So now we only have a 2-kill lead. They answer back. Taulek gets another one, but what felt like it was going to be a little bit of a gap stays within reason. Still a 4-kill lead for TSM, though.
What a fascinating last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
3 dead on the side of SSG. They come off spawn, 3 dead for TSM. And then they come off spawn, 3 dead SSG again. The aggression and the pace is starting to pick up in this game. And I think it's because TSM are starting to feel the comfort of the lead that they've established. It's 5 kills now between the two teams. And TSM are starting to pressurize these spawns of SSG.
Really impressed with the resilience there, because they, once again, it was just 32-31, but instead they pull away yet again. And they maintain not just the advantage, but specifically the pressure that you need in a Slayer to continue pushing your opponents back, making sure they're never pushing you with 4 players up. StelluR, though, look at this opportunity. Game in his hand. They're trailed by 5. He needs to make this camo count.
SoulSnipe, though, he's got that shot rifle. You saw it happening. The potential was there for that play. Any other gun, StelluR comes out of that with a trade at minimum. But the fact that SoulSnipe is given the opportunity for the shot, he takes that opportunity. He's 16-8 in this game. You have to call him not just SoulSnipe, but by his full name, Mr. SoulSnipe.
And that shot is worth much more than a single shot, right? That is much more than 1 kill to shut down StelluR with the camo and now extend their lead to 7. Massive plays from him here.
Stays alive, doesn't challenge as well. Deals damage onto Falcated. He's hitting everything to move. The chain damage is big as well.
Wow.
2 players from SSG fall, and now TSM are 5 kills away with just Falcated left alive here. He'll go down as well from tying up this series.
Staggered 4 dead, 4 kills to go for TSM. They have completely pulled away in this game, and barring a miracle, this one should be theirs. We'll see how they execute on the final 4 kills of the game.
No more shock rifle ammo to play with here for Taulek. He jumps back up to top snipe to see if he can get some info, get some angles, but I think they know where they are, TSM. It's just a case of collapsing and not giving away some free kills here. SoulSnipe adds another. He is having a monster game here. 20, and a triple kill for SoulSnipe. He carries TSM through that game.
Man, and smiles on their faces for good reason. They pop up out of the chair. They will be taking that optional break after game 2, unsurprisingly, and they have brought not only momentum back to their side, but most importantly, a map win back to their side as well. Taulek with a nice little shoulder rub coming in for Druk.
Nice job, buddy.
He's proud of the man. How about 20-9 for SoulSnipe in a game 2 like that? That is outstanding. And numbers in a game that was that close to triple kill to end it as well, and gives SSG a few things to think about. 50-38 is your final score in a game that was a 32-31 at one point.
Yeah, no one on the side of SSG with stats you really want to talk about either. Every single player in the negative, and they now know how it feels for TSM in that game number 1. It has been a complete turnaround here, 50-38 the final score. You gotta remember, we were essentially tied up around 32, and then TSM just got 3-4 dead, and then you just saw that really strange moment in the game where it went 3 dead off spawn, 3 dead off spawn, 3 dead off spawn, but flipping each side, then it was TSM who just seemed to come off the better of that.
I think both teams wanted to play as fast as they could. That exact passage of play was the perfect indicator of just how fast both teams wanted to play and to capitalize on opportunities as we take a look at some of the highlights. But when you look at these two teams really tit for tat on a map like this and speed like this, it's not surprising that TSM was able to catch SSG off guard. Like I said, they're going to be the players that Taulek is staying alive and market in a 1v2 and somehow gets away with it. Things like that really were the difference maker.
And we have to remember the big difference maker. That was SoulSnipe with that shock rifle when StelluR had the camo. StelluR thinks he's got at least a guarantee of a trade in that situation. Worst possible scenario.
Here it is.
But here is that moment. SoulSnipe slides out and blames StelluR. And that is a big, big turning point in the game.
Love that. Also, all this from SoulSnipe, right? The chain damage. Look, both of those, he cleans up one. The second one gets cleaned up as well. And he dealt the damage onto ledge that allowed SoulSnipe to then push in for a triple to end it. As you said, Mr. SoulSnipe to you, 20-9 to close out the game.
Fantastic performance from him. And as a player, like Wes was saying on the desk, sometimes he's really hot, sometimes he gets a little bit cold. Well, that is a hot, hot performance from him. And for TSM fans, that is certainly a very good sign as we move into our next game. That's going to be King of the Hill now on Recharge, which is a little bit of a change of pace from our first 2 games. We're going to have an element of control shown by both teams to get those hills.
And just when you thought after game number 1 that this might be a standard series for SSG, to kind of close out the night with a 3-0, that's not going to be the case. If you're in the venue, if you're with the best seats in the house here in the Red Bull Lounge, make sure you get a snack, get your favorite beverage, because this one could go the distance, folks. Tied up 1-1, and I think both teams, specifically SSG though, realizing, okay, let's lock in here and now. We don't want to go to another Slayer, because now we just saw a 12-kill margin in a Slayer for TSM. We already established that statistically and historically this weekend, they had been the better team. Let's now focus on King of the Hill.
Well, it's not looking good for TSM. The good versus the bad is how we've decided to describe this one, and for good reason. You're looking at the records here. Spacestation Gaming here in Salt Lake City, perfect on King of the Hill. TSM, imperfect to say the least. 0-2 their record.
Without a doubt, in Team KD as well, SSG is winning these not only with a sizable margin of, I mean, anything above 1 is quite a big margin, but 2.3 is going to be big, but specifically on a 1.29 KD.
That's dominant.
If you see a team that's winning something by maybe 1.1 or lower, you're like, okay, they're edging out their opponents. 1.29 is pretty decisive and conclusive. Goes without saying. 3-0 record they also bring into this one, so statistically this will favor SSG, and they're going to be glad about that, because as we said, after seeing what happened in the first Slayer, SSG wants to avoid the second Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, for TSM, you're probably thinking one of the next 2, boys, and we got a real chance here. When one of these objective games in the series, we know how talented we are when it comes to those Slayer game types. And believe me, it's not just TSM thinking this as well. It's SSG who have got that in the back of their minds. So a lot on the line in this game number 3. They're heavily favored as far as the record books are concerned. SSG, and one of the big reasons is this duo.
Let's take a look at these, because this is pretty wild. Both of them 1.5 or higher in King of the Hill at Salt Lake City, and we know the caliber of opponents that they have been playing. Crazy. Kills per minute, just shy of 2 for both of them. And when these two are running around the map, it's not surprising that SSG is 3-0 in King of the Hill.
Damage difference per minute as well, very impressive. Foul plays his life so well. But it's not just playing his life. As you can see by that damage differential, he's outputting damage consistently wherever he is on the map. He is really a player who, if you put him in a power position, he's going to output maximum damage every single time. Someone like Suppressed, I feel like it's a bit more orientated on his movement around the map, reacting to damage that's going down, but a lot of that is going to be the damage that's laid down by Falcated. Such a difficult customer to get off of his perch.
Without a doubt. And if you've been watching these guys for a long time, you've got to feel that there's something special about Falcated and Suppressed not only getting picked up by this roster, but also getting their flowers in terms of the respect that they now have. When you see them in and out of game, how consistent have these two been? I think the attitude they both bring to the game as well is envied by a lot of players, and there's a lot to be respected there. And now there's a lot of talk about these two and what they can do. And I think the exciting thing for SSG fans, as well as Suppressed and Foul, is what do they do with this, right? 3 events left in the year. What is the SSG legacy in Halo Infinite? What is the legacy for these two players? Everything to play for, but first they need to win this series here tonight. Otherwise, it will be an unexpected interruption in the SSG storyline, let me tell you that.
Certainly will be, and let's remember as well that SSG, after the disappointment of previous event, they had to pick who they wanted, essentially, and they went after these two. This is the two players that Eco and StelluR said we believe can bring us back championships. That's a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, but there's also a lot of trust being shown by two players who knows what it takes to not just win trophies, not just win majors, but win world championships as well.
Also, two players that you would not call outspoken, right? They let the numbers in the game do the talking, and my God, do they ever do it well. You just saw it by all the stats that you saw on screen, and specifically in King of the Hill here at Salt Lake City so far. They have been untouchable. They're going to look to do the same here again in game number 3, the go-ahead game as we're tied 1-1.
Yeah, you can see the records not favoring TSM in this game type. Spacestation with an opportunity, with the success they've had here on King of the Hill, to go up 2-1. But the records, they're there to be broken. Can TSM steal this away and really start to worry the SSG fans?
That's right. TSM's key to success once again is going to be to keep this one scrappy. You just saw them do it in Slayer. Found a way to get into angles that look like they're going to be easy kills, but they get the perfect timing on the team shots. The help comes in. They hit the clutch shots when StelluR has the camo. Things like that were the difference maker. And here in King of the Hill, it's going to be a little bit different. They're going to have to take it one hill at a time, of course. And knowing how they've faced against their opponent, fared, against their opponents they've faced so far this weekend, they're going to need to change something, because they're going to be aware of the records in the game type so far.
Everyone on the TSM side of the stage looking pretty relaxed.
Hands looking warm.
Hands certainly warm. Or smelling like tea. Could be a tea bag.
It's got to be a hand warmer.
You never know.
I do know.
Can we put money on that?
I just saw it. I do want to put money on it. I'd love to, can we?
Imagine if you lost that money and it was just a tea bag.
It's not a tea bag.
It's not a tea bag,
Look,
it's a hand warmer. There
look
it
at
is.
that. Hot hands. Just saw it.
It's branded. Heavily branded.
I should have put money.
Don't want to put
Shout out
that
to
in
the production team's got my back, though. They knew I was right.
SSG looking locked in and ready to go in this next game as well.
Hand warmers.
That's a hand warmer.
Looks like if you're the player that is nearest to the crowd, you must have a hand warmer in motion.
Endorsement deal.
Is the rule. That is the rule, apparently, based on the configuration of this layout. But both teams so far certainly having hot hands as we're tied 1-1. Just in case you're just joining us, you picked a perfect time to tune in. Last series of the evening, but it's a very important one, not just in the context of this weekend, but in the context of this season for both squads. TSM coming out with a surprising top 3 finish at DreamHack Dallas and really putting themselves back on the map with this storied roster. SSG dropping to top 8 in Dallas. A huge disappointment for the roster. They made the team change and we're underway now, tied 1-1. We're underway, King of the Hill strong and recharge.
Thank you everyone for just bearing with us while we got the players back from their break, back on the stage to give you the best Halo Infinite action that they possibly can. Druk's gonna grab a camo after grabbing his first kill of this game. It looks like SSG though, off the spawn, are gonna get the control of pipes and gold, which is what you need to do before you step into that stronghold. That hill, King of the Hill. It's King of the Hill, Andy. Both of us struggling here.
Hey, late in the evening. Druk not making the most of that camo. Tries to go stacks, tries to pre-nade bat, tries to also pre-nade gold in the end. Just gets caught out before he can even really camo jump to bats. So not able to get as much time as he'd want on the board. Neither team stepping in just yet. We'll see a few ticks coming in for SSG.
Yeah, now that StelluR gets that pick with a shock rifle, they're going to be more confident to step in. 2 dead here for TSM, and StelluR waiting for his shields to come back before he re-peeks and tries to add another skull to his collection. 2 players bottom tower at the moment. Druk's going to get singed, but he's not going to be taken down.
More time for SSG, and StelluR's going to be happy to hold this angle. I think at this time, you go back to what we talked about in the pregame, right? Now that we're tied 1-1, things start to get pretty serious for SSG, and it's shots like that, they're going to keep the game wide open.
It's an element of revenge here for StelluR. He was the one that was embarrassed in the last game by SoulSnipe when he had camo, but now he looks like he's on the revenge tour. 2 beautiful shots coming in from him, and that might just be enough to potentially secure this first hill.
Especially with these angles, just using the bats perfectly. It's the same matchup. SoulSnipe versus StelluR with the shock rifle. Finally, he's taken down by some good nades coming in from all sorts of angles and control. 3 dead for SSG. Falcated, last player alive. Let's see if they can keep the pressure up. That last extra shot's going to give them an opportunity to push here.
Yeah, the quicker that they can deal with Falcated, the better here. Taulek's trying to hunt him down, but Falcated is being a nuisance. So important to win that fight there for Taulek. Now they can completely control not just gold, but the spawns on the map as well.
4
dead SSG. TSM also immediately on the respawn of Falcated. If they kill him here, they're going to completely split SSG.
They are going to split him regardless. In the end, they get the kill, so the splits will be coming in here at gold as well as long hole. And TSM, a lot of work yet to do, but man, what a sequence of events for them.
So press inside that hill, though. It feels like TSM committed so many players towards Turbine. They left gold open. SSG take advantage of that respawn, and now with TSM falling, this might just be an opportunity for Falcated to slide in, complete this hill, and it's a misstep from TSM that allows SSG to take advantage.
Interesting from TSM, and even though Falcated was taken down by a really good three-man push into Pipes, they lose Pipes control there, as you say, and they kind of maybe overextend into Turbine, and that will cost them because Suppressed and Falcated just double stack hill at the end. They kind of brute force it, and they will take that first hill.
Taulek no shields inside the tower. He's dealt with 4 dead for TSM. SSG, after clutching the first hill, now stand proud in the second. Everybody from TSM has to work their way all the way through the map before they can even contest the position of Falcated.
It's all about so far the Slayers that we talked about in that head-to-head matchup. Suppressed is 9-4, Taulek 8-4. Both of them putting up impressive numbers early on in the game, but it's SSG that not only gets the first hill, but they also get the progress on hill number 2 as well.
Taulek has found the new shock rifle, so he might be able to kind of brute force a hole in the setup here. Eco's still alive at the back of blue, and he picks up a cheeky little kill onto SoulSnipe, which is going to be very frustrating, but here comes Taulek, finishes off one. He knows Eco's here somewhere. They duo up on the grenades, but Eco's still alive inside of that hill, and by doing so, Falcated and StelluR arrive and say, Eco, don't worry, buddy, we got your back.
Man, Eco alone there in a 1v2 in blue Pipes, and as you say, somehow hits the pre-nades as well as the damage to not only get a kill, but also buy a lot of time and stay alive in the end, so they will continue scoring here.
This is going to be the second hill to SSG.
Waiting and baiting.
But they're going to wait and bait. They want to draw TSM out here, see if they can get some kills before they try and rotate, but TSM not showing. They take that second hill, and now SSG up by 2.
Also take their time to make sure that StelluR gets away with the camo as well, so just a little bit of extra time. Not too risky, but I like the movement here. Ooh. I liked the movement.
Oh, it's good enough. It's good enough from StelluR. And he clears out the hill as well. That's 2 dead for TSM. StelluR now has a chance to just get a little bit of a deep breath and recenter his reticle to be a bit more accurate next time around.
Suppressed still leading here 11-6 in the game, but it's StelluR who's caught up with him now. He's 11-4. 2 players here on 11 kills for the side of SSG, so it is not surprising to see a 2-0 lead and continued progress now on hill number 3 for SSG.
SSG outslaying at the moment, but not by a huge margin. It's only SoulSnipe who was missed 20 kills in the last game who's struggling a little bit here. It's 5 and 10 double negative in this game. Does have the 8 assists, which is leading the way, not just in his team statistics, but in the lobby as well. But teamwork not quite there at the moment for TSM. That's going to be 4 dead, and with the way that Spacestation are controlling these hills, StelluR's already up the map at the back of blue, and he spiked the spawn out as well.
You get the feeling that not only has SSG already looked so good at King of the Hill this weekend, but also maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to game number 2, right? When you think about Druk with very good shots, by the way, there. A little bit of a wake-up call maybe for SSG, realizing we do not want to go home tonight, and even though we lost that Slayer, they needed to focus up for game number 3, and so far that's what they're doing.
Yeah, Taulek the last hope there. He won't be able to stop SSG inside of this hill. They are 3 to the good now. On King of the Hill, recharge 1 cap away from closing this out. Still got 2 minutes 20 to deal with here, TSM, so they have a lot of time if they want to try and get back into it, but with the way that SSG are controlling things, it's looking like a long and treacherous road for them to have to tread.
Was a momentary man advantage for the side of TSM, and they will capitalize. They'll start to get a little bit of progress in, but StelluR from back C picks up 1. In the end, that's traded out. Eco, last player alive.
Eco's going to be on the trippy corner as well, so he's nowhere near Manny at the moment. Foul trying to take some clever angles. Eco going to try and peek with him as well. Just to flush that player out of the hill. SoulSnipe will get the first kill, though. 2 dead for SSG. No, something's fishy.
Too quiet.
Shroud will give away Eco's position. I think they did spot him out in the meantime. That shock rifle's going to be obnoxious, just shooting the pad and forcing SoulSnipe out this hill.
Even more annoying when you have camo, right? Because you should be doing just fine, but when you're getting shocked via the pad, there's nothing you can really do in terms of control, and they're just really taking advantage of that angle. TSM, though, looks like they should be poised to get this hill on the board.
Yeah, SSG don't have to desperate this. Good shots coming in from Foul. Once again, just going to force SoulSnipe away from that hill. Druk kind of doubling up with him in and around this hill. They're kind of switching out, making sure the scoring is continuous. And with 2 dead for SSG, I think they're going to give this one up. Falcated taken down. Great shots coming in from SoulSnipe. Challenges Eco. Last player's going to step in here, and they will get a hill on the board here. So TSM respond. And when we checked in at the start of that hill, there was just over 2 minutes on the game clock. Now there's 1:45, so they've done a great job to keep time on their side.
Very efficient, and also it was a back-to-back 4 dead here, so let's see if TSM can continue that pressure based on the spawns. They've made sure to also get the first pick yet again and continue damage.
Yeah, Taulek's putting really good damage down here. There's 2 players that he's raining bullets into. As we move towards the bottom middle hill now, this is one that does eat up a little bit more time. This is one that does take a little bit longer to cap, just due to the exposed nature of it. Last player alive is going to be on the turbine. He's going to be dealt with. That is a 4 dead. Suppress just come off of spawn, and TSM almost halfway done with this bottom middle hill.
Even though the third one was slightly delayed, it's back-to-back-to-back 4 deads, and another now staggered 3 dead as well. So TSM will definitely continue scoring here. As you said, not easily done on the bottom hill, but they are doing it.
Taulek gets the kill on Falcated as well. 2 dead still. Camo coming up as well, and they don't have to go far for this TSM because it's going to be spawning where their feet have been planted for the last 30, 40 seconds inside of that bottom middle hill. TSM are on a run here, and if Spacestation aren't careful, they might regret looking back on this game.
Got to see where this camo goes. That really will decide if they're able to get this hill quickly. A lot of crazy geometry. Camo burned, but 2 dead for TSM. So SSG has a moment to breathe here.
60 seconds left here. And it feels like TSM, as they go 4 dead, might have just run out of chances to make this game close and really put the pressure on with a second cap of that bottom middle hill. They might have 1 or 2 more pushes, but time really is a factor. They have to be almost perfect if they win this hill on the next as well.
Foul looks away just in time. Would have had a pretty good bat ledge angle to keep things within reason, but now it's Eco who takes that spot. Finally, we'll get shoved back. 1 dead for each side here. Do or die for TSM. They need to make something special happen on back-to-back hills.
Well, they're doubled up on the hill. Druk's taking some damage. Eco gets 1 at least. Druk's still alive. 2 dead on either side. The Suppress comes in and clears out the biggest threat on the map. As far as hill time is concerned, that's going to be almost another kill for him. It'll be an assist. 4 dead for TSM. And I think now we can say that SSG should, too much experience at this point to say they have, but should be able to close this one out.
Certainly should be able to. Look at Suppress, 20 kills on the board as the clock continues to tick down.
The TSM are inside of this hill, but for how long? Not much longer. 9 seconds left, a double kill here. Foul probably thinking about challenging for this triple. It won't be his, but TSM with 4 in the death screen means that SSG will close out the game here 3-1 and go up 2-1 in the series.
Really comfortable all the way through. Feels an awful lot like the first game that we saw in terms of SSG just really being dominant. And Ubernick is worried for his life.
Understandably so.
Spent too much time with excited SSG fans over the years. He knows it's a dangerous place to be, Salt Lake City, with a hometown crowd for SSG. And we're going to check on Ubernick with a wellness check in just a short while to make sure he's doing okay. But the SSG fans in the building, they are doing just fine. How about in the end? Suppress 21 kills on the board, stealing the triple away from Eco.
21 and 14 for Suppressed. The Big Don stepping up when he needed to. StelluR with some good stats as well. 18 and 15 for him. Eco, some decent stats when it comes to the assists alongside Falcated as well. SoulSnipe on the other side, we had a very slow start to that game. Started to pick it up a little bit towards the end when TSM found some momentum, but the overall story is outslayed, as you can see on your screen.
Yeah, outslayed and really outplayed throughout the entirety of the game, and you just felt like SSG was never going to let up. And I even think there were times where you felt like TSM should have had more control, but SSG just, for example, stayed alive, kept the player alive in pipes. A lot of examples like that where even when it felt like TSM, to be honest, as we said, awfully similar to game number 1, felt like they should have had an opportunity to get control. They were not able to do so based off the coordination from Spacestation Gaming.
Take a look at some of the replays in this game as well. StelluR with a beautiful little double kill here after ripping the head off one, removes some more skeletal features from a second player in front of him. The desperation on this last moment of this hill, very noticeable as Falcated slid in to complete it. But it was very interesting how it just felt like it took TSM a bit of time to just get going in that game. It was, you know, equal parts great play from SSG to keep them on the staggered spawns, but it looked like it was very difficult for them to formulate a way to break that first hill. It really struggled. A lot of time elapsed, a lot of kills went against them.
It really felt like SSG also was getting the right players individually into the right scenarios. I mean, you just saw, for example, the eco play from Blue Pipes in a 1v2. You also saw examples of plays over at Bat Ledge, or how about Suppress staying in the hill on the first hill, right? And they can't figure out where he is, and Falcated comes in to finish. So it just felt like time and time again, TSM had to work extra hard to get kills on individual players on SSG because SSG was finding exactly where to put players at the right time to be the most obnoxious. That's why they have found success in this game type all weekend. And of course, in this game 3 as well, they take the game 3-1, which gives them now a 2-1 series lead.
Now we head to Streets. We head into a game of Oddball as well, which could be a very, very interesting one indeed. TSM will be able to keep this game type scrappy. They will be able to trade out kills and keep that Oddball away and force SSG to move around the map as a unit, which is something which I feel like they're still getting the finishing touches on in comparison to a control game type like we just saw in King of the Hill. This is the biggest match of the series here. If it goes game 5, we've seen the record, we know what TSM can do in Slayers. SSG need to finish it here, they need to finish it now.
They certainly do. And on the TSM side, the question is, do you believe, right? I think when we talk about these players, and they've had varying degrees of success, but pretty high highs as a squad. Do they believe? The question is, though, who will take the game in Oddball here? Look, it's a little bit of ball time, and you wouldn't always think it's suppressed, but the man can do it all.
Certainly can. He shows that he can touch ball, and as we can see on your screen right now, 170 on the board, as well as like the KD. You know, he's always up there in KD for the team as well. So showing it's not just playing for kills, it's doing what is required to win games, and that is essentially the ethos of Eco and StelluR. You know, I remember back in Halo 5, it's like, what do you do? What's making you so good? It's like, we do what the game tells us.
Exactly.
Capture the flag, capture the strongholds, whatever it might be, we do what the game tells us.
It's really a special quality when you hear about the best players in the game and you say, what does it take to win these tournaments and these series and things like that? And people might say things like objective play and coordination and team shots, but really the goal of each player as we jump into the game really is to win games and to find in each unique scenario exactly how to do that with the situation that is presented. SSG so far has done that well. They lead 2-1. They're now only 1 game away from sending TSM home. However, if TSM can take this game, we'll go to a game number 5.
We certainly will indeed, and I've just got a little bit of a tingling feeling that is a real possibility here. But early ball grab and control has been all Spacestation. They grabbed that ball almost immediately. And with 3 dead for TSM, this is going to be a free camo grab here for Falcated, and he's difficult enough to kill on his own. When you can't see him, even more difficult.
Certainly he's going to slow play this as well. There's going to be some presence. He's going to see back A, so there's enough damage, so they're going to start flying in right away.
Consistent output of damage. Druk's going to reach out. That's a bad idea, because Falcated's Bandit is one of the best in the game. Still 2 more players for him to deal with, but that camo just being such a nuisance.
Oh my.
TSM have lost him. Falcated has become very, very spooky.
Also, how about just the fact that he doesn't get the trade in the end, but how about picking up the ball for 1 second, which just fakes everyone out thinking, okay, now he's holding the ball away. He dropped the ball, now he's bottom A. I can't see him, still can't see him. Picks up an extra kill as well. Gets 3 kills on the board through that exchange.
It's the Halo equivalent of going, yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Just letting them know where you are for just a second. Stalker rifle in the hands now of Eco. TSM managed to wrestle that ball away though, and they do have it back at Tram. So a really quick rotation actually from when that odd ball was just a few seconds ago. With a couple of players falling here, it looks like it's not going to be too much of an elongated hold here. With a Stalker rifle in the hands of Eco and StelluR, and Suppressed flying through to clean up those final kills. 3 dead for TSM again, and the ball will be back in the hands of Spacestation.
SoulSnipe was last alive. By the way, SoulSnipe is already 5-4 in a game where several players are like 1-2 and 3-1. I don't know how he's been involved.
Druk 0-3.
I don't know how he's already been involved in 9 engagements like that, but he's found a way to get into the thick of it time and time again. I'm pretty amazed by that.
Oh, he's still going. Falcated not going to challenge. SoulSnipe probably thinking that he should. Manny's going to be there to save his long-time buddy. That's 3 dead here for Spacestation. Ball time should go the way of TSM. They've immediately got their hands on that ball, and they will continue to score.
Yeah, needs to make sure they don't let this slip out of their hands, because let's not forget, off of those first 2 grabs, it's already 43 points on the board for SSG, which tells you just how objective efficient they have been. Should be a third. It's a triple kill for SoulSnipe.
Yeah, easy as you like for SoulSnipe. The damage done for him. He just has to clean up those 3 kills, and clean them up he does. Now you're starting to see TSM cut away at that lead that was established early on by Spacestation Gaming. And the ball has been momentarily dropped here. I think the ball carrier just had to get a little bit of damage down, didn't feel comfortable enough with SoulSnipe flying through and adding more kills to the collection. He's playing a different game to everyone else. He's 11-4.
He's 11-4 when Druk is 0-3. There are some outliers here in this game, without a doubt. Not exactly an orthodox stat line coming across the board here, but he's not done yet. Picks up a 12th kill. I don't know what to think about the TSM side of the scoreboard.
One thing I will give Druk credit for is he's got 30 points of objective time, so he's been holding that oddball for every single second of the time that TSM have put on the board, whereas SoulSnipe has been killing everyone that's been in front of him. Druk now looking for his first kill, but he keeps the assist column ticking in the right direction. He's got 8 of those at least.
Taulek says, no, I need some kills as well, right? The other 2 players are only on 4 kills apiece, but regardless, the important thing, while we have a good laugh about kind of how just unequal these stat lines are, is it's still just a 14-point game here, 44-30, and you have to think Spacestation probably scratching their head thinking, I don't know what's going on statistically nor in terms of the scoreboard, but they're going to look to find some kind of gap and an advantage here.
The repulse sticky doesn't work this time. Ninja. We're not calling that one a ninja.
No, the game feed might have. We're not going to count it as a traditional ninja, but more importantly, somehow they keep 2 players alive. That would be huge. See if Taulek can finish out the kill on StelluR. He does. That will now bring it to a 2v2 momentarily.
SoulSnipe with the ball back to tower as well, and I think he's going to continue to move it towards PD based on the Taulek's position here over at Tires. A couple of spike grenades going his way. Certainly one found its mark. As Eco moves forward now with that camo. It's another one going over to SSG.
Big, really good patience coming in there. 3 dead, should be 4 in just a second. It is. Taulek's your first spawner at front C, but this should be ball time once again for SSG. And to be honest, their first time scoring in a little bit.
Yeah, in quite some time it feels like it's been TSM have been scrapping ball time up. The lead starts to just grow a little bit more now, with Eco just sitting in front, trying to be an absolute nuisance with this camo. He's got license just to roam around, collapse on any damage these teammates are doing.
Big kill here on Taulek.
Suppressed will get it.
That cleans out the back of A. That really was the big annoyance in the side of Spacestation Gaming, but cleaning out Taulek means they have control of these sight lines once again, and they can even rotate the ball out if they need to, as 3 players are on Neons.
Druk gets his second kill of the round, second kill of the game. 10 assists to his name. It's weird that it's 2 and 6 with 10 assists. It's a really interesting statistic to look at. The only one that really matters in this game is the score at the bottom of your screen. It's 74-37. The gap is starting to really grow here for SSG. They're doing a great job to control that oddball.
Yeah, they were 2 dead, but as we said, the rotate here to music and B rails is just going to buy them a little bit more time. So TSM will finally start scoring yet again, as every grenade on the map for the moment goes into music.
Suppress trying to clear out Red Room here. Jeez. Little teammate's going to help him, but Manny atones for his error, as Eco will just hold this ball here and say to TSM, that's cool, but you've got to come and get this ball out of my hands right now, and they're moving now within 15 points or so of closing out this first round.
Love this from Eco. Your dynamic ball holds there, just being able to drop and shoot in situations like that. 43 points on the board, though. Not enough here. It's 86, only 14 points. You got to think it's only going to take 1 to 2, even kind of half 2v2 holds to close this one out.
3 dead here for SSG though. Druk is already up the pink street looking to pressure StelluR, who was last alive. He'll go down as well. Camo coming up as well. Spawns will come in from Spacestation that can at least contest the power up. But Druk's trying to make a cheeky flank here. Ooh, putting the pressure on. He should be able to find a second, but Manny's going to get that one. Falcated was taken down in the meantime. That was what I was concerned about. It seemed like Fal got all the way to Arcade. Well, there's life here for TSM. 2 dead once again for SSG. Someone needs to get their hands on that ball, though.
They finally do, and it felt like it took quite a while, but I agree. I think Suppress spawn music, but Druk just flies beast stairs so fast that he gets away with those kills, and they get away with the camo, so this one is not over yet. Let's see where the first picks go.
They're trying to eagle eye right here. It's going to be a trade here for Manny. Not the most efficient use of that camo, but a great job from SSG to make sure that it was just a trade in that situation. SoulSnipe flies out front of the tower. He'll pick up 1, but it's SSG who even up the numbers now. It's a 2v2 split on the map. StelluR continually putting damage down, and you can see TSM a little bit worried about grabbing that oddball.
Yeah, Druk picks up 1 though, which means that's going to buy a little bit of time, and StelluR can't finish just yet. He does, and that's an important kill there on the back of the base.
StelluR just continues to move forward. TSM just looked like they've forgotten about him. Taulek will get 1, but StelluR's still alive here. He is unaccounted for, and if you're TSM, you've got to show some frustration at the fact that he just got away with that.
Gets away with that, just kind of finds the cracks in the timing, and perfectly gets, as you said, to tower and just takes every single angle that he wants. 90 points on the board for SSG.
27 seconds, excuse me, left in the game in this round. And TSM have got to worry about that. Spacestation thinking about time, thinking about the lead that they have. They only have to concentrate on slates here, and if they do so, they will close out this round.
Yeah, they're just going to keep him off ball. They're going to play time here. 65, though. 2 fall. And the ball is also being held here. This one's not over yet. 3 dead for SSG.
Full setup on the map here for TSM. Druk already pushed up the map. Look how much map control he's got at the moment. Pushes all the way past the 50-yard line. but it felt a bit too quiet. Now he has to back up. He's got the information on where the push is coming from, but can TSM hold here? They have to be aware of that game clock as well. They cannot drop this ball for too long.
No one's grabbed Camo yet. Big shots, still 2 dead.
2 dead. Camo's up. Another player flies out. That's going to be StelluR. We could be a tie game here by the time that StelluR gets into a position to stop this ball time. It is 90-90. StelluR flies it towards the up ball, grabs it. A second is the difference. And the second is all that matters. SSG and StelluR clutch up in round number 1.
Oh my word, talk about a cool, calm, and collected 3 words you would always use to describe StelluR. And right away we have the replay. Fantastic work from the team in the back. Take a look, StelluR flies in, grabs the ball straight back to A, holds for just 1 second. Even though Taulek gets the kill, even though Taulek then gets the trade thereafter, it doesn't matter. SSG, as cool as you like, they win it 91-90 in the first round. Down to the wire, and they find a way with 0 panic to take the round.
It might say 1 point when you look back at it, the difference between the 2 teams, but that's a pixel. That back smack comes in, and if it's half a pixel earlier, half a frame earlier, and TSM probably have this round. The Suppress now feeling good, feeling pretty, feeling fantastic, as he picks up a beautiful double kill. SoulSnipe doesn't know what hit him.
Not the first time we've seen Suppress do that with the red gun, pulling out a second kill that he really had no business getting. And that will be initial 17 seconds on the board for TSM, but SSG off the back of those plays is now ready to start scoring once again.
And TSM backs against the wall now. SSG with all of the goodies in their hands. And of course that round advantage as well. SoulSnipe with a nice pick though. Druk gets a second. Spacestation falling. Another player down to no shields inside of PD. He's going to get locked up, and that's 4 dead for SSG. It's a good response here from TSM. They are scoring, and they have around a 20-point lead already.
That's the punishing thing about a round of oddball like that. TSM's probably wondering, man, if we just played one second faster there at the end, or maybe one different set of plays, we could have had that round, but got to shake that off right away. You're right into round number 2, and luckily for TSM fans, they're now leading 38-7.
SoulSnipe on your screen, by the way, 25 and 15, just continuing to wreak havoc on the map. 2 dead again for SSG. SoulSnipe's trying to collapse on these last remaining players. That's going to be 3 dead last in front of him. He wants more kills. He wants more. He doesn't get it this time around, but the assist column will certainly start to pick up for him as well. Camo coming up bottom middle, and TSM have almost been perfect in this second round.
Just doing everything as well. Manny comes all the way back. I like that late pop because they could have had a really comfortable pop on the Camo had he get taken down. But SoulSnipe not only putting up those kills with 26, he'll also shrouded. I got you, bro. And also now that paves the way for Manny to clean up some kills here. Cafe, but it's an important stick coming in.
Lots of shrapnel, lots of spikes. Free kill here for Eco as well, as Druk plays a corner but doesn't check his own corners. A 2v2 right now, a little bit of a race towards the oddball. That's going to be won here by SSG and Eco.
Eco, not much to do, but just melee the air as he continues to put points on the board, and we'll see how long SSG can hold. TSM has a second. With this lead, they can take their time, but SoulSnipe's actually going to fly right in, but it's going to cost them. They try to catch him off guard on the B-side push, and it's 3 dead, and you can tell it's about to be 4.
That's 4 dead. SSG back into this round. I wonder what SoulSnipe's decision was in that situation, because he had the Stalker rifle.
Yeah.
Usually you want that player to be prodding and poking and doing max damage before everyone else moves in, but obviously saw an opportunity to cross, maybe didn't have the info and the comms that Spacestation was stuck and doubling up inside of PD waiting for that cross.
Yeah, exactly. It was 54-17 when that rush began, and they really had the time. I didn't exactly see where the spawns were. If they were closer to Cafe, that might have influenced the timing, but I gotta say, it felt like TSM had more time, and the lead slipping away.
Okay, trying to stay alive here. Druk's gonna clean that up. And it feels like after a little misplay, TSM are doing a pretty good job actually to just regain a little bit of confidence, a little bit of neutrality on the map to contest this off ball and make it difficult for SSG. 1 kill has already gone their way, SSG. Another player down to no shields as well. SoulSnipe will even up the numbers. Suppress trying to stay alive here. He's dipping, he's diving, he's dodging, but he can't survive.
Thought he might, honestly, if he went launcher there, he probably even gets away with that, but in the end, it's enough damage to at least take down 3 members. Manny, the last player. So the push is going to come in. SoulSnipe spawning fast enough to help, but mostly it's all eyes on Camo.
Yeah, interesting that SoulSnipe managed to actually have the timing to push up. Now you're going to see the rotate actually coming in. SSG just lagging behind a little bit on the spawn timing, meaning they're going to have to wait here, play for the Camo, and then play for the break. But with the Camo, Eco's going to get an easy kill. Turns that into a double. And Manny now is going to be under pressure with that ball.
And stays alive. Really nicely done. Veteran play from Eco there. They will lose 2, though, so 2v2 on the map momentarily.
Eco deciding to prioritize a few more kills before they go for that odd ball. Suppressed is going to be given that responsibility to bring the objective back. Eco just podding, poking, a couple of bandit shots to multiple players. And now looking for the info of where that push is coming in. But did he actually spot those 2 players crossing?
They should rotate here if they got the info. There it is. You just saw the oddball cue. So they're already rotating out the driveway based on the positioning. It's good shots that do come in there for SoulSnipe, but in the end, that one's cleaned up as well. 3v3 on the map.
Starting to get very, very close to a lead change in this second round. SSG with continued ball time here, and it feels like a little bit of rhythm starting to come back into the teamwork as well. 65 points on the board and rising as TSM finally get the odd ball back in their hands. But SSG now within striking distance. Just a few points separating the 2 teams as Eco finds another.
Wow, the water cooler getting very involved in that last engagement in tires, and those are now scattered all over the place. It's 2 dead for TSM, about to be 3 dead!
Oh, Eco! 3 stars on the screen, but it's a 5-star play, and he's looking for more as well. It's 4 in a row for Eco as Spacestation now will continue to score and continue to close in on that score of TSM.
A second or 2 away from the over and the full wipe, but in the end it doesn't matter because he has the killing spree on the board, and as you say, now about to take the lead here in the late game.
And with that, Spacestation Gaming will go into a lead. The first round was decided by a pixel, a single point of oddball time. And this one looks like it's going down to the wire as well. 85 and rising. TSM have to break, and they have to break now or their tournament's done.
They've got to go. Here comes the push. Eco, though, holding plans and caution, giving him no room at all. 10 points to go for SSG.
Taulek gets the first pick, though. He perfects Falcated. Druk comes in. He gets another. Suppressed now. Fighting for his life inside a PD, but it's 4 dead for Spacestation Gaming. This game is not done yet.
A little bit of deja vu once again. Now TSM only trailing here by 10 points, and now SSG needs to make the push happen. What does Druk do with the rest of the camo?
I think first job has got to be info. Where's the push coming in? And now having deducted that the players aren't going to be pink, they have to be music. Good shots coming in, but 2 dead for TSM. Druk under pressure here. He has to clean up some of this damage. Suppressed has moved into PD. He's grabbed the up ball and says, I'll take the win. Woo! SSG survive. SSG win. And SSG will be here in SLC on Championship Sunday.
Ubernick in a much better mood. You could tell he was just worried about the series result in the end. SSG closes it out, and a great catch from our observers in the back as Suppressed finds an opening and says, hey, there's nothing going on in PD except for a free oddball. And it looked like the screen was actually frozen because he was just sat there holding the ball, not moving in his player cam nor in the game. And it will be SSG that very comfortably takes ball 2-0 in the end. And some down-to-the-wire moments and some epic finishes in each of those rounds, but SSG felt like they were always in control.
First target for SSG coming into this tournament. Let's make sure we're here on Sunday. They look pretty impressive in that series. They've looked pretty impressive all tournament long at the moment. And I think just the clutch factor that is so synonymous with those players and the success that they've had is starting to come back as well. That little bit of magic that decides these big series, that magic was SSG's.
TSM last tournament, as we said, placing within the top 3 on another historic run for those 4. However, for those 4 at the bottom of your screen, Druk, Taulek, SoulSnipe, and Manny, their tournament run will end here. But SSG, as we said, they make it to Championship Sunday, and not just that, but they do it comfortably and with continuous momentum. This new SSG roster will be playing at home on Championship Sunday.
It certainly will be, and let me tell you, the crowd will be loud. It was loud today, it was loud yesterday, it will certainly be at peak levels tomorrow, shall we say. The SSG crew know how to get it done when it comes to building hype for their team and pushing them through those tough series, but I think that series is about as tough as you get. TSM, though, I think it can be very disappointed, Andy, that once again, in the big series, they just can't get over the line again.
Certainly, and SSG did not make it easy, but I agree, TSM will, especially after last tournament run, right? They're gonna have a lot to think about until we get to Charlotte, without a doubt.